EZOMD welcomes you to the Easy Labs. And now the host of the program, Jay Appell.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the program. I'm Jay, and today we're going to show you what happens when you remove an administrator from the ePO server. What are the ramifications for doing that? Now, right here on your screen, you have Tom Jones, who is an administrator of this application. And as such, Tom is getting ready to give his notice. But he has a number of associated tasks here inside the console. He has server tasks, he has a client deployment task, he might have a repository replication task. The good news is the only thing we really care about right now is server tasks. Now, Tom is going to go over here to his two named tasks, which you're not always going to find on your ePO server, and we're going to go over to the summary of that task, and you'll see that Tom, in fact, owns that task. This is one of the few places you actually see an individual user associated. Now, where do we go from here? We're going to go up to Menu, and we're going to go over to the Client Task Catalog. And over here, you're going to notice that we don't have individual users because they fixed that in a very earlier version of ePO. It's under an owners group, in this case called administrators. So if Tom goes away, it's going to fall back to the administrator or the admin of the ePO application. Now for this client task, we're just going to change it from ABC back over to Tom Jones for clarification, and we're going to save. And also this product improvement program is a pretty small stubby file we'll send to our test machine. Under the administrators group, and now we're pretty much done with the client task as we know it. We go over to the audit log, and you'll see that we did a purge to keep it nice and clean so you could see everything, and you can see that the update client task took place just a couple of moments ago. Head over to server tasks, and we have two of those tasks right at the top, number 1 and number 2. One is for the downloading of software, and the other one is for another task for the firewall. And we're just going to run both of those to generate the events so we can actually look and see that in the audit log. Back over to the audit log we go. There we go. There's Tom Jones being shown as downloading software and also the firewall property translator. Both successful. We're going to log off as Tom and log on as the admin because the admin comes in the morning, and it may not be admin account that you're using. It might be some other many different kinds of user accounts that are administrators. And I'm going to go to Tom, and I'm going to disable his account instead of deleting it. It's a good best practice. Now that Tom is disabled, we're going to go on over to the audit log. And you'll notice here that we have Tom logged out, and we've disabled from the admin account T. Jones. Back up to the menu, back to server tasks. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to execute each of those tasks again. But it can't be Tom that's actually executing it, can it? Because Tom is now disabled. Back to the audit log. Now notice that we've gone from Tom being able to run and execute that. It's now admin, even though Tom is disabled, because it's fallen back to a higher authority, which in this case is the admin account. But not so fast. That's not the end of the story. When we go to the menu and go back to server tasks, we're going to closely examine the first one and the second one. Over on the summary page, again, you'll notice that the task owner is T. Jones. But you saw the audit log actually ran the admin. So it might be a little confusing. The only way you're going to fix this from Tom Jones to a more updated account, such as the admin that's logged in, would be to commandeer it. Now we see it's disabled. We could delete it, but here is what you're going to see. You're going to notice the two server tasks are being identified as being associated with Mr. Jones's account, so you're of course not going to want to continue. You're going to want to handle this problem. You're going to head back over to the server tasks that were identified. There's number 1 for Mr. Jones. Go ahead and click Edit. Go over to the summary page, and very simply you're going to do this to take ownership. You're going to click the Save button. You're the admin. You're going to take ownership of it. Very simply click Save. We're going to do the very same thing with the second task. Go to the summary page. There's T. Jones. Click Save. Now let's go back and examine that summary page one last time, and you'll see that it's commandeered by the admin. In that case, in this particular case, it's me. Let's go ahead and check the second one. You'll notice over here we have our domain controller. If we go over to actually do a client deployment task, tasks are still there. They haven't gone away because the groups that are assigned to them are not individual users. They're actually going to be a group. So let's look at that. McAfee agent, there's the client task. You don't see it associated in there to a user, but you will back on this page. The owners are in fact the administrators group. In that group, we have Tom Jones. He's been disabled. If we get rid of Tom, it's going to fall back to admin, but I've typically seen it only be the admin account. Okay, we're now going to take Mr. Jones's account and we're going to delete it. Now, you would typically wait 6 months before you would do this to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's and get anything that might be associated with Tom and get that taken care of. So when we delete this, Tom's going to go away. All the client tasks will remain. And also you will have remedied the server tasks being associated with Mr. Jones. In our server tasks area, even though they're not named properly, you would go in there and once again verify they're owned by someone else other than Mr. Jones. You'll need to rename the task so it's more clearly identified as to who might own it, or you might take that naming association and remove it altogether and just say it's a download software server task. Let's head on over to the audit log to see how it looks. We removed Mr. Jones. Everything is under the admin. Here's the last thing that we saw with Mr. Jones. Hopefully now this has kind of shown you that you can systematically take your time. You can try to delete the account. It should reveal to you what tasks are associated.